Hey, this is Nick. Just got a quick review here of this Monoprice NTSC to VGA adapter. The idea behind this thing is that if you have something like a camcorder that has a composite output and you don't want to have to buy like a regular TV, you can get one of these boxes and then just hook up a computer monitor to it. So what they give you with it is a fairly cheap power supply. This thing says it's rated to 1 amp, but it barely can do like a half an amp or so. That kind of doesn't matter because this thing doesn't really draw much power, and you don't see the voltage drop under load. But I don't know, you might want to get a better power supply that's less noisy. They give you a cheesy composite cable. This thing's really thin. I haven't even bothered to try it. They give you an S-video cable and a fairly average VGA cord. So the hardware's pretty decent for this thing. The only thing I don't like about the box is that it's got only a couple of little vents on it, and the bottom of it gets kind of warm, so not all the heat is actually venting out of the top. In fact, I'm probably going to put a little fan on this thing when I install it permanently, but it shouldn't be an issue. Some people online have said that it runs hot, but it seems like it's still pretty reliable. Alright, so I'll hook this up and you can see how some stuff looks. Okay, so here's the main menu on this thing. It's real simple. You can just pick from a few different inputs. There's an S-video jack, composite jack, and a VGA pass-through. The nice thing about the VGA input is you can actually use this on your main monitor and then just switch over to composite whenever you want to use it. The only other real options you've got in this menu are like brightness and things like that, but there's no options for scaling. So you can't change it to a pixel doubler or anything of that nature. You're just stuck with the default sort of bilinear interpolated whatever thing it's doing. So old games like this look a little bit blurry. It's not as sharp as say it would be like on emulator. I don't think it's really that big a deal. The color's good and it's very responsive. There's no input lag or anything, so that stuff's fine. You notice around the edges there's a little bit of a border. This is kind of a problem because there's no settings on the box for adjusting the actual size of the screen. That's completely left up to the monitor. So if your monitor doesn't have a very big range that it can adjust over, you might not be able to get the image to fill up the full screen. Alright, now we've switched over to the Mac 2C, which is slowly loading a copy of the Oregon Trail. You can see that the image doesn't actually take up the full screen. I'll see if I can get this to something that has borders here. Okay. Okay, so come on, there we go. Alright, so yeah, there's like a huge border on this thing. Now, that isn't any fault of the converter box. That's how the image looks on an old tube TV as well. The thing here is that you can't adjust the monitor settings enough to, make that fill the screen. So I guess, I don't know, just get a bigger monitor or something. I mean, there's not really much you can do about it. But as for the actual image itself, it does look, like really clean. Like this text here, you can hardly see any color bleeding. Normally that looks pretty bad on a tube TV. And yeah, everything looks really sharp and great for this. So onto the camcorder. Alright, so here's what camcorder output looks like. You can see it's great. I mean, it fills up the full screen, and it's good and responsive, and yeah, colors are good. Overall, I'm real happy with this thing, and seems like a good cheap option if you're looking to set up a monitor and you don't want to have to buy like a flat screen TV. That's about it.